While I always root for faith-based productions like House of David, there are things about the series I don't like or at least don't understand. Stay with me for my take on the second season of the Amazon Prime series, House of David. Since my biblical historical fiction series, Age of the Kingdom, is set during the reigns of King Saul, King David, and King Solomon, I was naturally excited when the Amazon Prime series House of David debuted. And now that I've had a chance to see Season 2, I wanted to post this review. I did a review of Season 1 earlier, but there's a great deal more to cover in Season 2. Season 1 ends just like Quest for a King, my first novel in the Age of the Kingdom series, with David killing Goliath. Season 2 picks up with the relationship between King Saul and David, whom he comes to suspect is the person that the prophet Samuel anointed to be king in his place. Samuel is portrayed by veteran actor Stephen Lang. By the end of Season 2, David has to leave to escape the wrath of Saul and save his life. A third season is planned. In general, I'm supportive of projects like House of David, The Chosen, and faith-based media generally. I have written several faith-based screenplays, some of which have won awards at film festivals, so I'm predisposed to like House of David. There is a lot to like about the House of David series, and I will cover those things, but also some things that are curious to me that I don't like as much. First, the storytelling and depiction of the relationships in House of David is done very well. Saul and David, played by Ali Suleiman and Michael Iskander, respectively, have a complicated relationship which is portrayed much as the Bible portrays it. Their relationship vacillates between distrust and a father-son type of love. But the other relationships in the family of Saul are complicated as well. Saul is always at odds with his children, and finally, toward the end of Season 2, he actually banishes his wife, Ahinoam. The relationship between David and Saul's daughter, Michal, portrayed by Indy Lewis, is particularly touching and well done. It also does a good job of showing the tension Michal feels between loyalty to her father and David. All around, I like the casting choices, and the acting is first-rate. The House of David is produced by the Wonder Project in association with Amazon MGM Studios with additional investment from Lionsgate. This partnership has allowed them to finance a series that is as technically good as any historical or fantasy series anywhere on television or streaming. Through creator and showrunner John Irwin, the Wonder Project is actually pioneering new workflows in filmmaking, merging live-action virtual production and artificial intelligence, or AI. Virtual production, in which actors perform in front of a large LED screen, is superior to blue screen or green screen in that the actors are able to see the environment they are performing in, and the screen supplements the studio lighting so everything looks cohesive. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is used to extend sets and add things that would be difficult to impossible or too expensive to do in conventional live-action production. These innovations enable them to show scenes with a scope that would require a much larger budget by conventional filmmaking methods. So not only is the House of David a faith-based project financed by the deep pockets of Amazon, MGM, and Lionsgate, but it is blazing a trail with new technologies and synthesizing different methods and workflows in the production process, all the while saving the production a lot of money. House of David is generally respectful of the biblical record. However, there are things that I don't like and can't understand why they did things the way they did. I've talked about the good. Stay with me for the bad and the ugly.
And now a word about this channel. The topics explored on the Age of the Kingdom series channel grow out of research for the biblical historical fiction series of the same name. 3 books are available now. They tell the stories of King Saul, King David, and King Solomon from the viewpoint of fictional and little-known biblical characters, as well as the characters which are front and center in the Bible. These books are available from GaryIvy.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
The first thing they do in House of David that I don't like or can't understand is they changed the relationships of several characters from what the Bible clearly says. For example, Abner, who is King Saul's right-hand man, portrayed by Oded Fair, in the biblical account is clearly Saul's cousin and part of the same clan. But in House of David, he is depicted as the son of the witch of Endor, of all things, and hails from Endor, which is far to the north of Saul's tribe of Benjamin, rather than being part of the clan Saul belongs to. To me, Abner being a close relative of Saul is very important to his motivations for remaining loyal to the house of Saul even after the king's death. Another story decision I don't understand is Joab. In the Bible, Joab is David's nephew, but in the House of David, Joab, played by Ari Albi, is depicted as more of a cousin and is older than David and is already kind of an enforcer for King Saul. It's true that the Bible is not explicit about ages and timelines very often, but we know from 2 Samuel that Joab survived David and had to be dealt with by Solomon after David's death at the age of 70. In House of David, Joab is depicted as a ruthless relative of David who potentially puts him in danger, which is not unlike the way he's depicted in the Bible, but Joab was certainly younger than David. And speaking of Joab, the Bible prominently features 2 other nephews of David, Joab's brothers Abishai and Asahel, but they are nowhere to be found in House of David. I made this video about the death of Asahel as told in the Eternal Kingdom. I do understand that a movie or TV series has to limit the number of characters they depict so the viewers don't get lost, and there are always budget concerns as well. But it makes me wonder how far into the story the series plans to go, as these brothers are major characters in the Bible. The same could be said for the sons of Saul. Jonathan, acted by Ethan Kai, is front and center in House of David, as is Eshbal, portrayed by Sam Otto. But the other sons of Saul, Abinadab and Malchishua, are never shown or even mentioned. Again, this may just be a limitation of filmmaking and casting budget. I mentioned Saul's wife, Ahinoam, earlier, portrayed by Eilat Zurer in House of David. She has a much more active role than she does in the biblical account. She is behind the decision to have David get 100 Philistine foreskins in order to receive Saul's daughter in marriage, and it is her idea to set David up to be killed. Her plan fails, of course, but in the Bible this is all Saul's doing. House of David has Ahinoam being much more manipulative of Saul. And speaking of Ahinoam, Saul eventually throws her out when she objects to his taking a concubine. In the Bible, Saul does indeed have a concubine. Her name is Rizpah, but in the House of David, inexplicably, her name is Kaziah, acted by Inbar Saban. Why did they change the name of the concubine? It doesn't make any sense to me. Were they unaware of the actual concubine's name or that there was a concubine, and they thought they were adding something not already in the story? If they knew about Saul's concubine, why change the name? That I'm confused by these issues doesn't mean you shouldn't watch the series. It, like The Chosen, will give color to the black and white reading of these stories in the Bible and give you a feel for what these people were like in a way not possible any other way. So I do recommend you watch House of David. Just know that not every detail is part of the Bible story. And that's to be expected because even though I often say the stories about King David are the most detailed of all the stories in the Bible, they still leave a lot of conversations and events out, and rarely delve into motivations, which become easier to understand after watching a series like The House of David. Well, that's my take on The House of David Season 2. Tell me in the comments if you've seen The House of David and what you like or didn't like. If you like this kind of content, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click the bell to be notified when new videos drop. See you next time for more stories from the Age of the Kingdom.